The chapter begins the day after the incident with the sore core. 15 men are at Karu's dojo who want to become students. Karu is happy about this. However, Kenshin pops her bubble by telling the men that he's not from this dojo and won't be taking anyone as students. He also states that if any of the men are here because of the incident from the other day, should leave. After hearing this, all 15 men leave, which causes Karu to be upset at Kenshin. As they are crossing a bridge, Kenshin tries to tell Karu that thrill seekers like the men at the dojo won't last 6 months, and she should be patient. Still angry, Karu states that since she doesn't have any students, she can't do any training unless she goes to someone else's dojo. She also remarks that he won't spar with her. Kenshin replies that his skill with practiced swords are weak. A young boy runs into Kenshin, and before he's able to run off, he quickly gets tackled by Karu. Apparently the kid is a pickpocket and has stolen Kenshin's wallet. Feeling sorry for the boy, Kenshin gives him his wallet and tells him not to get caught next time. Out of anger, the boy throws the wallet, which hits Kenshin in the head. He states that his name is Yahiko and he doesn't want petty from strangers. As the sun is setting, Yahiko sits by a river when 2 men approach him. They tell him that they're here for this month's payment. Yahiko replies that he's no longer stealing and is cutting his ties to their gang. Not liking the boy's answer, the 2 take him to their boss by force. Once at their hideout, their boss tries to convince Yahiko to forget his samurai roots and join his gang instead. Yahiko declines and spits at him. Due to his action, he gets kicked to the ground. One of the men reminds him that their boss had taken him in when his dad died in the war and his mom died of syphilis due to selling her body. Yahiko gets angry and I have to say he has balls. Anyway, he tells them that his dad died faithfully to his lord and his mom died from working so hard to bring food to the table and raising him. This is kind of interesting. Here we have 2 different views. The gangster sees the father as a fool for leaving 3 acres and 2 servants to fight and then die in a war. As for the mother, he sees her as a whore who died from a sexual disease. Then there's Yahiko, who sees his folks as people who lived and died as samurai. I can't help but wonder what kind of job the mom had before dying. Did she really sell her body for money and hide that fact from her son, or did she work at a place like a store or restaurant? Also, exactly how did this thug know how this kid's parents died? Did Yahiko tell him? Anyway, the gangster is angry at Yahiko for biting him and starts to attack him. However, before he is able to land the first blow, he gets hit by a door that Kenshin kicks in. Believing that this is a raid, the boss orders the rest of the gang to appear. Kenshin informs him that they won't come. The guy who got hit by the door gets up and tries to attack the wanderer, but... Am I the only one who saw this coming? Kenshin tells the boss to release the boy while giving him a scary look. Without a second thought, he tells Kenshin to take him. As he walks toward Yahiko, he tells him that he was hard to find. Yahiko states that he could fight them alone. Kenshin apologizes for misjudging him as they leave. The remaining gang members are about to chase after the 2 when their leader stops them. He notices the look that he got from Kenshin was from the eyes of a real assassin and didn't know that there was some still out there. The chapter ends with Kenshin telling Yahiko that he will learn swordsmanship from Karo after they arrived at the dojo. This chapter feels a little bit shorter than the other 2, but it does its job of introducing a new main character. We learn that Yahiko is an orphan who was taken in by a gang. Although it's never stated how old he is, I would have guessed he's about 12 or 13 years old. Now, since this is the only chapter that brings up his folks, I can't help but wonder how old he was when they died. From what Yahiko and the gangster said, there is one thing that is consistent from both statements. Yahiko's dad died in the war. Since it's been 11 years after the war, it's most likely he died sometime after Yahiko was conceived or before his 1st or 2nd birthday. For his mom, it's a little bit harder to pinpoint when she died. She could have died when he was very little or most recently. Now there's something I just thought of. How did his parents meet? If she was a prostitute, it's most likely he was one of her clients and didn't know that he impregnated her. Or after being stationed somewhere, they met and fell in love. That's all I have to say about this chapter. See you next time on Read Little by Little.